Hey there, I'm Kim Kremen, personal trainer, exercise physiologist, and Stop Pilates instructor. You can find me at www.kimkremen.com. I do in-service and online classes and private training. So today on every Tuesday, I'm going to bring you a Tuesday training tip. Today, we're going to focus on shoulder mobility and whether or not you should be doing loaded weights over your head. And that's a fine functional exercise to do, but a little bit of a self-assessment to see if you really should be doing that. So a lot of us have kind of that rounded upper back and forward head shoulder position. And if it's temporary, just while you're sitting or texting or doing all the things that we do, driving nowadays with that forward position, if you can come out of it and be in a nice neutral position, then you're probably fine to do things overhead as long as your shoulder joints are strong enough. But let's find out if your shoulders can actually come into a sort of a textbook neutral position. So one way to do that is just to kind of test on the wall, and I look to have you hold a dowel or something like even just a broomstick so that you know that your arms are staying relatively even. So stand right up against the wall. I have a baseboard in the way, but you want to get your heels as close to the wall as you can. Right up against it is optimal. And then get your shoulder blades against the wall. My ponytail is going to be in the way here. So if you have a ponytail, pull it out. Bring the back of the head against the wall so that your chin is parallel to the floor. So if you cannot get the back of your head against the wall without looking up or rolling the shoulders forward, then you'll already know that's not, your shoulders are not going to be in the right place, because your shoulders are closely related to the thoracic spine, the upper spine, and head placement. Okay, so there's test number one. Test number two, go against the wall, straighten the elbows, and then start to reach the dowel up overhead without changing the position of your body or bending your elbows. So you should be able to get the knuckles against the wall. So for me, like my right knuckle touched before my left knuckles did, but my left knuckles did get there. The elbows should be straight. So if you're bending your elbows, well, you're too tight in your shoulders. If you're arching your back off the wall, you're also too tight in the shoulders. That's where we compensate. We compensate by bending the elbows, or we compensate by arching through the back and popping the ribs forward. So make sure you're stable through here. Let's just try that one more time. We have one more test after this. Stand tall, bring that dowel up overhead, reach the knuckles, arms are straight. If there's any pain associated with that, again, you probably don't want to load weights over your head doing an overhead press, okay? Or any form of overhead exercise. You can certainly work range of motion. So make sure you get the stability before you work mobility, and especially before you add weights. So you can do the same thing on the floor. I'm just going to change this a little bit down. Okay. So you're lying down on your back. So same thing, you want to have the same exact position. We have gravity working with us here. So make sure your rib cage stays heavy. You reach the arms up overhead. Now make sure that you don't start to arch the back. So you don't want to create more space between the bottom back ribs and the floor. So reach the arms, stay straight. So this is a little bit harder for the shoulders because we're working against gravity here. And bring the knuckles to the floor without resting them. Just hold them there. Maybe the shoulders are shaking. Maybe they're not. Elbows are straight. Then when you come up, make sure you don't lift your arms by gapping the back. You want to use the strength of your lats and your shoulders to bring it back up. Okay? So notice the weight on the bottom back ribs. Make sure the bottom back ribs are on the floor. There's a little space between your lower back and the mat, and the back of the pelvis is heavy on the floor. So as you lift up, you're in a neutral position, and you maintain that neutral position as your arms come up overhead. And if it's a little shaky, that's okay. Those stabilizers are kicking in. They're doing their job. And try to get the knuckles to touch the floor at the same time, and then without resting, just hold it there. And if you're feeling pain, then again, you might not want to load weights overhead, and slowly bring it up. Can certainly help you figure out how to modify those movements. and just bring it back down. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my tip for the day. I'm going to continue to do this. So if you have any requests, you want me to talk about different body parts, then I certainly can do that. I'll see you next Tuesday.